What is the value of your free time? Is it $1,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? On Wednesday, Tesla released their earnings exceeding investor expectations. And as of today, the stock has dropped 8%. Don't tell me you can't find an edge or beat the market when we have Tesla, industry leader in their space, with record earnings, with an amazing limitless roadmap, dropping 8% after that reveal that, oh my gosh, they made too much money. But none of this is as surprising as what Elon revealed will be their focus of this upcoming year, and that is the Tesla bot. In this video, I'm going to explain why this is a multi-trillion opportunity you cannot ignore, and how this is actually going to happen. This is the full quote Elon said on the call, quote, "So in terms of priority of products, I think actually the most important product development we're doing this year is actually the Optimus humanoid robot. This, I think, has the potential to be more significant than the vehicle business over time. If you think about the economy, the foundation of the economy is labor. Capital equipment is distilled labor. So what happens if you don't actually have a labor shortage? I'm not sure what an economy even means at that point. That's what Optimus is about. So very important." End quote. You think you're going to miss driving? Elon is coming for all of the physical activities you do in life. He's coming for our jobs. So for the average investor, this might seem crazy or unrelated. How come you are starting a car business and all of a sudden you are building robots? And I think that comes from a misunderstanding or just not realizing what Elon's cars or Tesla's cars actually are. The Tesla car is not really just a car. The Tesla car is a robot in that it has a brain that no other cars have, and it's similar to how we as humans process information. When you input where Tesla wants it to go using its full self-driving software, it can actually take you from A to B, but in the process of going from A to B, it needs to make countless of decisions that are separate from you, the driver. It needs to be able to analyze the world, understand its physical space, and avoid certain things and stay on certain roads. So this software that has been developed in the car, that has been gathering data for close to a decade now, is going to be the software that is utilized in the Tesla bot or Optimus. Now, this might seem fairly unbelievable, but I think we need to think of it from a first principles perspective. From that perspective, it's achievable. All you have to do is look at the Boston Dynamics bots. Those are the Terminator looking things that look really scary, but they're super agile. So physically, just looking at those bots, we can see that these robots can be very, very coordinated. And of course, there's another layer to get to fine motor tasks, but you have to ask yourself, is it possible that a robot can do the same tasks we do? If we wanted to program a robot to wash a dish, can we do that? The answer is yes. If we wanted to program a robot to solve a Rubik's Cubes, can we do that? Yes. If we wanted to program a robot to play guitar, these are all achievable. Now, the hard problem is to make it into one general purpose machine. That is not easy to do, but the question is that something that could exist in the world based on the laws of physics? And the answer is a resounding yes. There's no reason why we cannot build a machine that can emulate what humans do. There's no physical limitation for that to happen. The hard part of this issue is creating that AI brain, in that we don't need to program every single thing it does in all of our lives, that this will be something that it can learn, that it will be able to do things automatically. And that is where Tesla comes in. That's where the cars come in. Tesla cars navigate through the world exactly like humans do, and that's through vision. And they are able to identify objects and understand what they are. And that is what we are doing when we do all those little CAPTCHA security tests and looking for fire hydrants or roads. That is a surprisingly difficult thing for robots to do, because to them, it's just a collection of pixels. It takes us years, decades to actually learn what everything is. And that's Tesla's advantage, is that it has been learning for all these years, versus I don't know if there's a competitor even close with the amount of data, with the commitment to a visual-based solution to solving the full self-driving problem. A lot of companies are using radars or LiDARs, and that's just not something we can do. That's not how we navigate through the world. And that's why the synergy is so perfect and so amazing, and it's going to make so much money. And someday when Tesla does solve full self-driving, that brain is going to be transplanted from the car into the Tesla bot. Now, you might think, okay, so let's say that is possible, but I don't want a robot robot in my house, and I don't even know what that means. I can do most of the things I want myself. And yes, you still can, and I understand that it might be a scary, uncomfortable technology, but the fact is that human labor, that all the tasks we do day to day, what is the value of that? Imagining gaining all of that time back. For us middle class people, it doesn't seem like something that's super necessary, but we have to realize that wealthy people already do this. They already outsource all of this manual labor because their time is more valuable than that. They already have house cleaners, maids, pool boys, assistants of all kinds, and this adds up. People spend tens of thousands of dollars, over hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on external help to make their lives easier so they don't have to do more menial tasks. And that means, what can we actually price a Tesla bot for? What is the value of your free time? Is it $1,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? If you are spending 3 hours every single day on these tasks and you multiply that by a year, imagine gaining over 1,000 hours of your time back. How much are you worth per hour? If you're making $10 an hour, maybe all you can afford is $10,000 for this bot. But if you are making $100 an hour, you would be willing to pay $100,000 for this bot, because that's how much your time is worth spent on all these other things that you don't want to do. Now, that's a very high level, rough estimate, but that's just to get you thinking. Now, imagine somebody else who's worth millions or billions. So even if you cannot afford this robot, it's only going to take a very small percentage of the population that's willing to pay an obscene amount to get their time back for this to be a tremendous value add and tremendous bargain of the century. That's also why Elon keeps reiterating that he believes people are grossly underestimating what full self-driving, once it is actually full self-driving, how much it's actually worth. Because again, same idea, we are giving people's time back. Instead of being just stuck in rush hour, having your eyes glued to the road, you can actually do work, you could read, you could spend time with family. And that's why it's really frustrating to hear people just talk shit about Elon and saying that he's doing all these things that helps no one. This actually helps the poor, because no matter what the Tesla bot is priced at, even if it's priced at, let's say, $50,000, we could give middle class people their time back. We could give them an assistant for the rest of their lives that is significantly cheaper, orders of magnitude cheaper than having to pay a human being. We don't need to physically go around doing a lot of the stuff that we do, that we're trapped in doing because we can't afford any help. So even if just 10% of the people that currently have iPhones, imagine an iPhone on average now, let's say it's $1,000. Even if 10% of the people with iPhones now pay, let's say, $20,000 for a robot, that is an insane level of upside. That is 2x the amount of revenue that Apple is doing. And on the flip side, they're probably going to charge for the software on a monthly basis. There's going to be constant updates, making it better, making it more efficient. And that is just another cash cow, completely separate from their car business, which will also be a cash cow at that point, because you are paying for a monthly full self-driving software. It's going to be subscription based. Most people are not going to want to pay the $20,000 or whatever it costs at the time. And yes, that sounds insanely expensive, but remember, we are giving people their lives back. People are going to be willing to pay that. So Tesla right now worth about $1 trillion, actually less, because 800 million right now, just with cars. Now imagine this robot coming to play, how many households that it could help. There's plenty of people that don't drive or don't like cars, but everybody needs to do chores, at least to survive, unless you already have a maid, in which, yeah, I think you'd still probably want a Tesla bot. The last thing I want to say is that if you think that this just sounds too science fiction, that it's impossible, I just want you to look at Elon's track record. Now, he's not great on timelines, but he has never actually not delivered on what he said is going to be delivered. So it's a very simple question. Do you think it's possible? Which I think is yes, based on first principles. It's definitely possible. And the second question is, do you think this man can execute? Yes or no? If you don't think he can execute, that's fine. Don't consider this factor in your investment thesis, but just based on what I've seen, what the world has seen, what he's produced, I think the probability that he can execute is very, very high, and the implications of being successful in this space are astronomical. Don't ignore what Elon says. That's it for today. Thank you.